It is 6:03 in the heart of the Texas Hill Country, and you're listening to Eat, Play, Live with me, Andi P, the show that's chasing dreams and crushing goals. And my goal here is to help you live a healthier, happier, more balanced St. Patty's Day and life. Yes, spring is in the air. We have more hours of daylight, and it's St. Patty's Day. So what could you possibly have to frown about today? It's awesome. So don your shamrocks. Hope you're wearing your green. I wouldn't want you to get pinched. And let's talk about some Irish stuff. All right? Yeah. Irish whiskey, Irish beer, Irish food. We got all kinds of fun stuff coming up for you this evening. So let's start with the shamrock, the sacred plant of ancient Ireland, because it symbolized the rebirth of spring. So I say it's official. Now that the time has changed, now that we've got our shamrocks out, let's go ahead and say spring has sprung. Yes, my favorite season. So just saying. So what is the deal with St. Patrick's Day? Where did it come from? Why are we celebrating? Why do we make our beer green and our lakes green and all the weird stuff that we do? Well, actually, it's honoring St. Patrick, of course, the patron saint of Ireland. The holiday has evolved into a worldwide celebration of Irish culture. I mean, they're celebrating in Japan. They're celebrating all over Europe. It is really amazing that this has become such a worldwide phenomenon. But who can blame you when you've got parades, special foods, music, dancing, drinking? I mean, what's not to celebrate here, right? So the people in Ireland have actually been celebrating St. Patrick's Day and observing, it's actually the day of his death, but hey, we celebrate life here. So since the 1600s, they have been celebrating. The parade, however, actually started in America before the founding of the United States. So we have been having those parades and throwing beads, throwing whatever they throw at St. Patty's Day. Actually, have you been to a really great St. Patty's Day parade? Because if you haven't, next year, you have to go to Dallas to the Greenville Avenue St. Patty's Day parade. It is absolutely insane. It's a total life experience, you know? So I used to live up in that area, and I would take my kids there and their friends, and we always took the train because you don't want to drive. There's tons and tons of people, and it's a madhouse. And all right, judge my parenting if you will, but I think things like this can be a real life lesson for kids, teenagers, whatever. So the last time I went, I took my son and I introduced him to the stages of drinking and drunkenness, right? So we get on the train at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I think the parade's at noon, but you got to get an early start. Well, people are certainly getting an early start because they're already drinking. They're doing shots on the train at 9 o'clock in the morning. And you know this is going to be like a most of the day event. So I use that as an opportunity to show my son, now see, these people are not planning ahead. And look how fun they are. They're so jovial. Everybody dresses up. Like there's tutus and crazy outfits, crazy hats and leprechaun stuff and you name it. It's so much fun. But yeah, they're all happy. Woohoo, we're going to do this and cheers. Yeah, St. Patty's Day. And then as you go throughout the day, you go to the parade, they're out in the sun. And by the time you take the train back after the parade, there's people crying. There's people fighting. There's people sick. There's people helping their friends because they can't even walk. I mean, it's bad. Yeah, it's really bad. However, you can use these things as teachable moments because he got to see what happens when you overdo and you know, all the stuff that comes with it. He didn't get to see those people the next day when you know they were hating life. But anyway, let's move on. So interesting to note that actually when the Irish, okay, we had a big influx of Irish refugees come into the United States. And I'll tell you why in just a second. But when they did, the people that were here did not welcome them with open arms. Imagine that. We're like, this is our country, and we don't want a bunch of disease-ridden, unskilled, drain on our welfare budget people coming in here. Yeah, that was the attitude. So they were really not welcome for a long time. And then fast forward to today, we're like running out to the store to go buy our shirt that says, "Kiss me, I'm Irish." So I don't know. People are crazy. Well, eventually I guess maybe we'll all come together and have parades for everybody. I don't know. But the reason that there was such a big influx was because of the Irish potato famine. I don't know if you've heard about this, but it was also known as the Great Hunger. It began in 1845, and there was a fungus-like organism that infested the potato crop and ruined half of the crop that year, and then about 3/4 of the crop for the next 7 years. So approximately 1 million Irish people died of starvation and related causes, and then another 1 million left. And that's why we had such an influx of Irish during that time. So, in honor of the potato and how important that is, let's talk about the benefits of potatoes, okay? The potato gets a bad rap, and I know I'm guilty because I'm always pushing the sweet potato, the healthier complex carb, but a potato itself is not bad. It's not bad. Okay. So let me tell you what's good about the potato and why it was so important and why so many people were starving without them. So one thing, bone health. It's good for your bone health. It has iron, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, zinc, all of that in a potato that helps your body build and maintain bone structure and strength. Then the potassium, calcium, and magnesium also have been found to decrease your blood pressure naturally. That's definitely a good thing. Fiber, potassium, vitamin C, and vitamin B6 support heart health. Plus, the potato has a lack of cholesterol. So it's good for your heart. Good for your heart, good for your bones. It has something in it, a nutrient called choline. And I don't know if you're familiar with choline, but it is an important and versatile nutrient that helps with muscle movement, mood, learning, and memory. So you got something, a test or something you need to focus on, get you a potato. Maybe it'll help. Helps with cancer prevention. That is due to the folate. And folate plays a role in DNA synthesis and repair. So it actually helps prevent many types of cancer cells from forming due to mutations in the DNA. Potatoes are good for digestion and regularity. This isn't something we talk about a lot. Nobody wants to talk about constipation, but potatoes have a lot of fiber and they do promote regularity for a healthy digestive tract. You want to be regular. They're also good for weight management because that fiber, it's like a bulking agent. You know, if you eat a potato, you feel pretty full, and that will keep you from munching down the road. Potatoes are a great source of vitamin B6, which gives you energy. It plays a vital role in energy metabolism, breaking down carbohydrates and proteins into glucose and amino acids. Love me some amino acids. Potatoes are good for your skin. They contain vitamin C and collagen, which smooths wrinkles, improves overall skin texture. I got really excited about that. I'm going to go eat some potatoes right now because, yeah, I know. I am 51 years old, and I'm telling you that skin, that becomes a thing. All of a sudden, we're starting to worry about that stuff, right? Potatoes are also, they're high in vitamin C, so they're good for your immunity, right? So you start to get a cold and you think, oh, I need an orange juice. Potato, yeah, they're also high in vitamin C. So many good things, healthy things about the potato, but also it's going to depend on how you cook it and what you put on it. You know this. Yes. So oil, sour cream, butter. Okay, that stuff is going to take away from the healthy factor here. But the plain potato itself, relatively low in calories. So skip the fries. Of course, you know this, but don't be afraid to enjoy a delicious baked potato. I actually like to put salsa on my baked potato because it's tricky to think, we're just always so used to butter or sour cream or like the, normal, what we normally get on a potato. So sometimes you got to think outside the box and find a healthier alternative. And I have discovered that salsa on a potato is actually really awesome. And while we're on the topic of St. Patty's Day food, here's a fun little piece of trivia for you. Have you had your corned beef and cabbage? That has become a St. Patrick's Day staple across the country, but did you know it was actually an American innovation? Yeah. While ham and cabbage have been eaten in Ireland, corned beef is cheaper. It offered a cheaper substitute. So those Irish immigrants that came over, they were living in lower Manhattan and they couldn't afford ham because it's super expensive to live in New York, even way back then. And so their Jewish neighbors were like, hey, get some corned beef. I just love that. I thought that was really cool. So that is where corned beef and cabbage came from. So while we're on the topic of New York or other places, yeah, weird segue. That's okay. One of the ways I always love to encourage you to play outside is through travel, right? Walking, running, bike riding through different cities, different countries. It is such an amazing way to explore and get familiar and see things that you just don't see when you're riding in a car. Come outside, open the doors. And I always say we should play outside. Well, in honor of St. Patty's Day, let's put Ireland on our bucket list. Yes, so much fun. So here's some things to do when we get there. We can kiss the Blarney Stone, learn to pour the perfect pint of Guinness, which I'm going to talk more about that here in just a minute. There is a rope bridge, and I had never heard of this, but seeing the pictures super freaked me out. Carrick-a-Reed Rope Bridge is a suspension bridge dating back 350 years. It was used by fishermen to reach the salmon fishery that lies on this little rocky island. So it's the 66 feet off the coast is this little island. And so there is, like out of the movies, one of those rickety old rope bridges, and you can walk across it. Yeah. Now they have reinforced it, so you're not actually in danger, but you're crossing 100 feet above the wild, insane waves of the Atlantic. And wow, that would make for one unforgettable experience. I don't know. I don't like heights. I don't know if I could do it, but let's try it. Why not? Right? YOLO, baby. You can take a cable car to Dursey Island, so a little bit more like inside, maybe if you're a little scared of the rope bridge. You can visit the place where the Titanic was built. Interesting little piece of history there. You can fish for Irish salmon. I'm behind this. Get those omega-3s. What a cool place to fish. I bet the salmon is amazing. Or you could take in a sporting event while you're over there. So let's talk about what kind of sporting events are you going to find in Ireland? Well, the top 5 sports in Ireland, counting down. Number 5, golf. Okay. Well, it's really pretty and green grass, so why not? Okay. Go play some golf while you're there. Running, hiking, and walking comes in at number 4. I love this. It would be amazing, just amazing to go run, maybe do some kind of event there. But if you're not into running, walking, hiking, just check it out, man. One foot in front of the other. Sport number 3, rugby. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting tough. Number 2, soccer, otherwise known as football. If you're there, they would call it football. And the top sport is or are Gaelic games. Have you heard of these? Do you know what the Gaelic games are? Well, Ireland has their very own indigenous sports. Okay. They include Gaelic football, which is sort of a cross between our football and rugby, and then handball, hurling, and camogie, which camogie, I hope I'm saying it right. Have you even ever heard of that? I hadn't, but it's basically like hurling, which is a stick and ball kind of a game. You know I'm not into sports. Like athletics, yeah. Sports, not so much. But we're learning here, right? So camogie is like hurling, but played by women.